on the Sports Blitz, where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the topic. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Hey, Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share right now.
We are live and local, and we are here on this rainy Tuesday. Welcome to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. This is your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves tonight take on the Cubs at Truist Park. Coverage starts at 6 o'clock. First pitch is at 6:15. Don't forget the Atlanta Braves are sponsored by Hewitt Tire and Auto, Brock Pest Control, Billbird Kia, PCB Hobby, Cito, and Blue Diamond Truck Accessories right here in beautiful Panama City Beach. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of this show, you can be. 850-215-6290 is the way to do that. You can text in or call in. And then don't forget today, at 5:15, your chance again to win a Ferrucci's $25 gift card where anniversaries are celebrated and love stories begin. How do you like that, Brian? That sounds really good, doesn't it?
I don't know why you looked at me when you brought that up. I think I'm going to scoot my chair over a little.
That's right, you should. But either way, good to see you. How are you doing? How's it been going? You've been traveling a lot.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what your travel's been going on.
Card shows, man. Card shows. Actually had one over at the Beau Rivage in Biloxi. Really really had to twist my arm to get me to go to that one. But that was a good show, actually. Really well attended. I was a little surprised because it's kind of tucked back in there. You have to walk past a lot of slot machines to get to it.
Oh, my gosh, I bet.
And I was wondering how many people would make it. But it was a good show. Picked up some new stuff, sold a bunch of stuff. And then I actually head out tomorrow for the big Dallas card show. It's one of the biggest in the country every year. They do it about every 2 months.
Yeah.
And because I want to buy a whole lot of stuff, I'm actually driving this one. So I got to get on the road a little bit early, so I'm going to head out there, and I'll be back probably just in time for the show next week. So, but well, really looking forward to that. That's a big one.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of cool stuff there. So
yeah, I'm curious about those. You know, every time I go, because of my algorithms on my phone, I look at a lot of the card shows and stuff that they're doing. I think it's so cool, and a lot of people, when we were growing up, they would go to the card shops, and obviously I'm sure they had those conventions and stuff like that.
There were a lot of shows. The shows were smaller then, and more often, because, without the internet, card show was the internet of the day.
That's right.
Because that was where you actually got to see something your local didn't have.
Yep.
And, but, man, they were little 50 table in the – that old Howard Johnson there at the Beltline? I-60, they had them there all the time. And every hotel up and down, Biloxi Gulfport and Pensacola, they were little hotel rooms, or meeting rooms with about 50 tables. And now they're, like this Dallas show, probably 800 tables.
Wow.
I mean, it's massive.
And there's a lot of famous people, famous card people that come to those, and they have their live streams, and they clip the videos about who they're dealing with.
Well, not only that, they'll get big autograph signers, and they'll have a lot of the old cowboy guys. Johnny Manziel will be there this time, and they always put a big Texas theme on it.
Yeah.
So that'll be great. I know one that was cool last one I went to in March in Dallas. No real Texas tie-in, but Rocket Ismail.
Okay.
And that was really neat because I think unless you're kind of our I'm gonna lump you into my age group.
I'm okay. I know who Rocket Ismail is.
He was a big deal.
He was.
And to me, that was really cool because that's not a guy you see very often, and he was pretty neat. So there are fun things like that. And like you said, yes, the influencers are out and about with their cameras and everything like that. But you get to see some incredibly cool stuff. I mean, I've done this a lot of my life, and the last show in Dallas I went to, I saw 3 or 4 things I'd never seen in front of my face before.
Wow.
So it was pretty neat.
And can anybody just go? I mean, it's just like a general admission type ticket deal? Is that how it works? Yeah,
they have all different kind of tiers on, VIP and regular, general admission and all like that. You can go one day, you can go all 4. They have a lot of different, sorry, it's allergy season.
That's all right.
But they have a lot of different ways to do it, and you just kind of can go around, check everything out, and you'll have guys. There'll be, what they call the repack buyers who buy for a lot of these online entities. They'll go around with a couple $100,000 in cash and buying stuff. So there's a lot of action going on. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I've had a lot of conversations and just a lot of wonder, and I didn't know we were going to go this route. But with that being said, I'll see like people like Tom Brady or these specific people just by chance doing live rips. Mm-hmm. And can you say without saying that, how do they get some of these cards that they get? Do they send them cards? Like, come on, like tell us the truth.
I don't know. Look, nothing would surprise me in the world of marketing. And, I can't say for certain. I can't say for certain it doesn't happen. It seems the hard part is you only see the good stuff.
Right.
That's one thing I will put in. It sounds like a cop-out. It's not. So they're only going to put up a video that's something cool they hit. They're not going to show Tom Brady opening up a dud.
Right.
So, your sample size of what you see is more likely the good stuff. So you say, well, all he ever pulls is good stuff. No, that's all you ever see.
Yeah, that's true.
That being said, can they engineer it? Yeah, I'm sure they could.
Yeah.
But I have no, it's not me copping out for them or not, because I'd like the good stuff. But I don't know. I can't say for certain.
Yeah.
It's kind of like nothing in the world would surprise me of show business.
Right. It's kind of like Pawn Stars. Like, whenever that was really hot and everything was going on, everybody thought, I can just go to these pawn places now and buy a storage unit, and boom, I'm going to hit $1 million.
You're not seeing the totality of reality.
Right.
You're seeing pieces. You're seeing what producers and direct want you to see. So that's the only thing I would say is that, you'll see the highlight clips on YouTube where some guy hits some big card and they're all screaming and jumping around this, that, or the other. But a lot of times you're not seeing all the duds.
No.
And so you have a skewed sense of what reality is sometimes, because we all have a very short attention span, and we get the little short vids and the algorithm set to different things like that. So I say with everything you see that's in any way produced, just take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt, that you might not be seeing the whole story.
Right. You said Johnny Manziel's going to be there. Now, are you going to buy a ticket to go get Johnny Manziel's autograph, or do you already have something?
Well, I think we actually have. No, I sold one. I actually sold it in Biloxi, surprisingly enough. We had a really neat rookie booklet of his, but personally, no. And I'll tell you, my years working in media, I think somewhat desensitized me to
the star thing.
It's not so much that I'm not starstruck or that it's cool to see them, but I don't bother them, and I don't do autographs. I can't explain it other than I think you're so used to, you don't go up and do that when you're around them,
right?
And I think it's implanted in my DNA now, and I really don't. Now, if I bumped into him,
right,
that'd be cool. Or more than anything, I'd like a picture. That'd be neat to me.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, a lot of what people are doing with these autographs, they'll go get them and then they'll sell them. That's not. If I meet someone and I get their autograph, I'd want to keep it for me.
Yeah.
So,
who's the most famous person you've taken a picture with?
Golly, that's a good question.
Well, while you're thinking about it, I'm going to say, hey, the Bone Crusher, he's got the Waffle House shirt on, got him a haircut. Bone Crusher, are you good? I mean, is everything good? You're looking fresh today.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get my hash browns on. And
that's right. So, Bone Crusher, you've been in radio for a long time. Who's the most famous person that you've had a picture taken with, or maybe the most famous person that you have talked to on the radio?
Well, I interviewed John Rocker.
That
cool. Was interesting. I introduced Sarah Evans on stage in front of 40,000 people
at
New Orleans at the Superdome in New Orleans. That was fun. But like Brian's saying, I don't go up to him and ask for pictures. I've been at big stations where everyone just kind of lines up. Oh, here, take your picture with Snoop, and he just sits there like that with his arm up. And so I would rather have a photo taken of me like actually working with them or something.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
I did think about it actually. So, I mean, this is super cool for our age. it's still a big name, but when I was in college, we actually had Walter Payton
No, that's cool.
come in and do a live satellite with ESPN. It was when Barry Sanders was chasing the record down. Of course, Barry retired before it, but
yeah.
So they interviewed him. We had to take him back to his hunting camp where he was staying, which, by the way, the $1 Million Man was there, which was even crazier.
Really?
Yeah, Ted DiBiase.
Wow.
So we took a picture at the TV station with all the crew, and then me and a buddy of mine got to drive him home, and on the way he wanted to stop for something like dinner, and I told him, I said, well, one of the fraternities having a party there. I don't think you want to go there, Mr. Payton. It's going to be busy. He goes, do you know any of them? I said, oh, I know a whole bunch. And he said, let's have some fun. And so he said, just stand by me and have fun with us. And so we walk in, and of course everybody sees him, and they're freaking out. It's all these guys that I know.
Right.
And they're like, hey, y'all know my boy Brian over here?
Oh,
and so I
that's
spent
nice.
the whole night, people going, how do you know Walter Payton? I'm like, oh, I've known him for years.
Oh, he's just a friend of
Now,
mine.
greatest guy in the world. That's probably my favorite,
Yeah.
picture. I mean, I've been able to meet a few other, nobody like Jordan or anything like that. But Derek Thomas was a cool one, too.
Yeah.
Because he was a hero.
Yeah.
And obviously being an Alabama guy. But, yeah, it's kind of fun. But like Bone Crusher saying, when you're kind of in the business with it, you just kind of you learn not to do that.
Well, and you have to be. There's a part of being
There's a
professional.
professionalism. That's right.
Yeah, being a professional.
Yeah.
When I was a police officer, speaking of Snoop, I actually took him to me and him rode to
this is a
the
good story.
hotel together. So I took him to the hotel after his show. Just because there was so many people on his bus.
Oh, yeah.
And he had taken some people with him from the show of the female perspective.
Imagine it was a hazy bus.
I don't know. I was a police officer at the time. I just asked him, could he please, just abide by all the rules and the laws that he needed.
Hypothetically, if Snoop Dogg had pulled out a blunt and started smoking it next
He
to you,
couldn't smoke it in the car.
If he did,
no,
what would you
I'd
have done?
We'd have to stop,
Would you have
pull
taken
over.
in?
I'd have to stop, pull over, and say, hey, you'll have to do that over there. I'm going to go up to the store real
you'd look
quick.
the
I'll
other
be
way.
back.
All right.
But at the time, I was just working that. And then Cher, obviously.
That's cool.
I had to be her personal security one night as well. So that was kind of cool. So, so those are my two. But either way, we've talked about the Braves. Let's get into it. Tonight they open the series up with the Cubs. And when you look at the Cubs, the Cubs are just as hot as the Braves as of late, seemingly. They've moved up to number
What are you talking
2.
about? Cubs are garbage. They've lost 2 in a row.
I'm just saying.
After winning 8 in a row.
8 in a row, yeah. But, I mean, they're one of
I know, I'm messing
the
with you.
only team in the country in baseball right now that has won, 8 to 10 in a row this year.
Yeah.
So those guys are playing. I'm on the perspective, and you might be there too, I'm not sure, but I'm under the perspective that the Cubs are going to be a streaky team. Their highs are going to be really high. Their lows are going to be really low. And I could see this team, going into a slump. Whereas I feel like the Braves are in a different area right now because Riley's not hitting good. Acuna's out on the IL. But these other guys are stepping up and stepping in. And then the fact is that you got Sean Murphy just came back. Spencer Strider just come back. You got Kim just is coming back as well.
Been having a good year. Ozzy's been crushing.
Yeah, Olsen has just been lights out.
And the knock on wood, the pitcher's been healthy.
Yeah, the pitchers have stayed healthy.
So.
And then and I'll say this, as much as I don't know if you remember last year when we first came in talking about who needed to go, obviously Albies was one of them.
Ozuna
Harris was one of them.
Yeah.
Ozuna was one of them. And then I even spoke about Spencer Strider if he didn't get back to himself. But the last outing, the last outing that he had, he definitely looked like the old because he pitched 6 innings, gave up 1 hit, had 8 strikeouts in those 6 innings. And I'm just telling you, the guy's stuff is looking really good. If he comes back and looks like that, look out for everybody else.
It's an interesting dynamic when you look at these two teams because it's probably less about the teams themselves right now and more about what their divisions are doing because the Braves find themselves in a division that should be loaded with talent and experienced teams, and none of the teams are playing well outside of the Braves. In fact, a lot of them are disasters.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at the NL Central, typically you've had the Pirates have been kind of a dumpster fire for a while. The Cardinals have been a dumpster fire for a while. The Reds looked like they were making moves last year until they got in their own way down the stretch. And then the Brewers and the Cubbies have been solid.
Yeah.
Well, this year they're all playing great baseball.
They are.
Every team in that division is 3 games over 500. Every team in that division will be leading the AL West for crying out loud. So it's kind of weird in that the Cubbies really look like a good team, but their division is so good and they're going to play so many games against them, they might get beat up just from all those, games within the division. Now, that being said, the NL East can figure it out, and the Phillies could start playing Philly ball, and the Mets could remember they have a huge payroll and things, and maybe they get it figured out. But right now, I mean, if you just look at the teams and the way they're playing, they're pretty darn even, but the Braves have it much easier based on what their schedule is going to look like the rest of the way and the teams around them.
And that's the biggest point that whenever we were talking about don't get so excited early, but I'm saying, yes, get excited early because
we're 50 games in.
Right. It's the Detroit Tigers from last year. And and that was the thing that me and Jeff were talking about yesterday is the fact that, if we want to go to the World Series, everybody wants to go to the World Series, but we want to get to the playoffs first. That's the biggest thing for the Braves is get to the playoffs, and then hopefully the pitching and the hitting comes together as one, and then, we'll see what we got. But let me say this.
I apologize. 40 games in. We're a quarter of the way now.
Yeah, we're a quarter of the way in. Let me ask you this, because I didn't get to be in yesterday. You graciously moved over for us today.
Yeah.
And thank you for doing that. Bobby Cox, what does he mean to you, man? Because that guy, growing up as a Braves fan, he was just a person that was just a standard bearer for the Braves. You always really knew what to expect.
Ironically, I would say the Braves are more imprinted on me, and I'm a big Yankees fan too, but everybody in the South's a Braves fan.
Right,
correct.
They
are. The Braves are more imprinted on me in the early to mid-'80s.
Murphy, Horner, Chambliss.
Yeah, that crew, even though they weren't very good most of those years. Now, I loved the 95 World Series when they finally won it. I loved that run of the early 90s. I still think the 91 World Series is the greatest thing I've ever seen, even though we lost. So I really loved and respected Bobby Cox. I can't say it's not a Bear Bryant-esque kind of thing for me.
Yeah.
I think if he had been the guy all through the 80s, too, it probably would have been. But, yeah, obviously it's sad because, what he did, it's not just winning, 14 in a row or whatever they won like that. It's doing that coming out of being so bad for so
really bad.
long. When the Braves and the Twins played in 91, they were both worst to first.
Yeah, that's true.
And but no, he was phenomenal. Just the way they constructed that team, the way they managed all of those egos and got them to play together as a team, and you got the sense that team really enjoyed playing together.
Yeah.
There'd be a few one-offs. We were talking about Rocker. Trying to manage Rocker would have been interesting, but Bobby Cox was uniquely positioned to do that and to do it well, and probably does not get the overall credit because the Braves probably needed 1 or 2 more World Series to really lock him into that upper pantheon of top 3 or 5.
Lasorda, Sparky Anderson.
Yeah, if you really want to go back, John McGraw and Casey Stengel and, Torrey, certainly, with what he did with the Yankees.
I would still hold him at a Pinella. No,
I think so. He's top 10 for sure. He might even be top 5. I just think to really break into that kind of uber pantheon, maybe even Sparky Anderson level, just not quite there because they needed 1 or 2 more World Series, which is a shame.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the way that they did it, which was fantastic. I love the fact that how the farm system was the way that they did it. Now, obviously, they grabbed Maddox from the Cubs. Well,
the Yankees and the Braves both had a core group they brought up and augmented it with the right type of players.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Brave of all time? Is it going to be Murphy?
It's Murphy.
Yeah.
There's not even a close second.
A lot of people would say Chipper.
I was tailing out of it.
Yeah.
As he was coming in, because he's more a mid-'90s guy. Like, I would say if you're going to the next level for me, it would probably be more maybe Justice. It was a little before Chipper, Glavine, Smoltz.
Pendleton and all those.
Chipper was great. You know, he just was just on the tail end of when I was really following the Braves. And then the Yankees went on that run in the late 90s, and I was fully bought in. But, yeah, it's definitely Dale Murphy is 1, 2, and 3.
Well, if you remember, though, when they were looking for a star, and then, you know, when they brought Pendleton there.
Yeah.
He was really good.
He was a good player, but he was not an MVP type player until he got to the Braves.
Until he got to the Braves. Yeah, he was just a good player for the Cardinals, and I mean, he didn't even hit third for them. But then he come over to the Braves, and he looked like
he just
a total
fit.
different
guy. They were trying to replace things after Horner. I know they went down the Ken Oberkfell route, which ironically he played for the Cardinals too. Pendleton just fit. They just got all the pieces right. Lonnie Smith, except for the fact that he couldn't run the bases in Game 7. He was a great fit in there. And then you had guys like Mark Lemke, who were role players who just were timely kind of play. Everybody thinks about, you know, Cabrera, you know, the next year, and Bream and everything like that. Lemke had 2 bang-bang plays at the plate in 91.
Yep.
Rafael Belliard. I mean, just guys who just fit the roles around the stars. And then obviously, it's not even a 3-headed monster. People forget how good Steve Avery was.
Yeah,
that was
good.
A 4-headed monster in that pitching staff, and so it was just a really special time with that group. But Pendleton made no sense. He never should have been an MVP. He just was.
Yeah, he was. Bone Crusher, you're an Atlanta guy. Who's your favorite Brave of all time?
Well, Brian stole my thunder about the Murph there. But, you know, Bobby Cox, over 2,000 wins, and he leads the league in ejections.
Right.
Quick Bobby Cox story. He was thrown out the first pitch after he retired. Chipper Jones was catching for him. And after he threw out the first pitch, Chipper came up to him, congratulated him. The umpires came up to him and congratulated him, and then they ejected him one more time.
Fantastic. No better way to leave than to get ejected.
Yeah.
We talked about that, too.
Yeah.
Bobby Cox got his money's worth whenever he did get ejected, too. It wasn't this whole, you know, holler a little bit and then leave. He come out there and gave the people what they wanted, you know.
Yeah, he came from the Earl Weaver School of Theatrics.
That's right. Either way, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the baseball season, and we got some NFL news to share with you. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has your chance to win true Italian flavor in the Ferrucci Feast. Homemade pasta, handcrafted sauces, and centuries-old recipes. Listen weekdays at 8:15 and 5:15 for the Q2 call. When you hear it, be caller 10 at 850-215-6290 and win a $25 gift card to Ferrucci Restaurante in downtown Panama City from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Anna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. A chance of thunderstorms and mostly clouds the rest of the day with temps near 76 and a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. A variety of very light rain and mostly clouds tonight, a gentle breeze, and a temperature of 67. About the same tomorrow, around 80 with some sun. Sunny Thursday and quite warm around 82. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Panama City Mayday Mega Car Show is back. May 16th at Bay County Fairgrounds. Bring out the old schools, classics, antiques, new schools, import sports cars, exotics, trucks, and bikes. Get registered at pcmegashow.eventbrite.com. This is an outdoor and indoor show, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Plus tasty barbecue, seafood, Cajun, food trucks, flavorful drinks and sweets, bounce houses and face painting. Kids free. Adults buy tickets at pcmegashow.eventbrite.com.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia and supplies, new and vintage cards, and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory, or visit online, InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
The Atlanta Braves are on a mission, and night after night they're making their case as one of the best teams in baseball.
3-2 to Drake. He swings and hits a missile to deep right field to the jump house and out of here.
Tonight, the Braves welcome the Chicago Cubs to Truist Park for a big National League showdown as Atlanta opens up a 3-game set at home.
Coverage coming up at 6. First pitch at 6:15 on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. ESPN, Northwest Florida.
This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Master, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves tonight versus the Cubbies at Truist Park. 6 o'clock is the coverage. 6:15 is the first pitch. Don't forget as well, we've got a 5:15 Ferrucci's Feast, $25 gift card coming up. Be caller number 10. Call 850-215-6290 for your shot at winning the Ferrucci's Feast. We've been giving that away. It's been very productive, and a lot of people are getting the opportunity to definitely go get some really good food because it's really good over there.
Mm-hmm.
You like that kind of food?
Oh, my God, yes.
Can you eat
see how fat I am? Yes. God almighty.
I mean, I love it. I mean, it's going to be a fantastic time to go over there. I got to get over there and eat some chicken parmesan or something.
See, I want to go in there and have my phone playing the Godfather theme as I walk in and sit down. It's just the whole ambiance.
Do you want him to tell you it's your time? It's your table, Mr. Haddon. Is that what you want?
Yeah, as long as my back's to the wall.
That's right.
I can't trust anything. But no, absolutely wonderful. Of course, Mike and Menta have done a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Everything they've ever been a part of. So you knew it was going to be great. And it's actually neat to really have a very good Italian place in town because, you know, everything about us is about seafood and this, that, and the other.
You're right.
But we need really good Italian, and we finally got it.
Yeah, and that's fantastic that we partner with them. And you can win that at 5:15 right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. When you look at this year's baseball season, there's one thing that sticks out to me. Obviously, it's the Braves, but it's also some of the people that last year were really awesome, and this year that were not. And I hate to do this, but you know, when we're right, we're right. When we're wrong, we're wrong. And can I say that the Big Dumper in the last 8 games, 0 for 32, struggling to get back into it. Do you think there's a lot more built-up pressure? You go on to do what he did last year, this great, everybody didn't really know who he was unless you were really locked into baseball. And then now to do that, go to be on the USA team, be one of the greatest catchers out there because, you know, he didn't allow but maybe one pass ball, I think, all year last year. And that was at the end of the season.
Yeah.
It was like he was like almost 0 all the way through. How do you think the pressure, because, you know, that's what happens. Pressure begins to take place, and then also people start learning how to pitch to you.
You don't know if it's – the problem is it could be a million different things. So the one thing that we all know, having been involved in sports, it gets called a million different things. Probably the most often is being in the zone.
Yeah.
It's this kind of heightened level of concentration, and it just feeds on itself. And what ends up happening a lot of times in this is you're just flowing emotionally with it. And everything is just working, and you don't put any conscious thought or preparation into it. And for whatever reason, once you kind of get off of that momentum, off of that run, a lot of times it's very hard to mentally get back into that space. And so, you know, people think, oh, it's the pressure got to them. No, it's just kind of we're kind of out of our sync, out of our rhythm of what we were doing. You know, there was also a lot going on last year. They made a playoff run. He had the World Baseball – I mean, there was a lot going on. He might be exhausted. You know, there was a thing we all dealt with it in Little League. You know, if you ever, you know, hit a home run, all of a sudden you start swinging different.
Oh, man, you want to look for it.
And you go into a slump.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe he was just on this run of it, and he starts the season thinking, well, I'll just go do it. And what he didn't realize, he's actually overswinging. So, I mean, it could be a lot of different things. You know, as it relates to that. The problem is when the bar is set so high, anything short of it looks like a failure.
Yeah.
And then that gets in your head. And so I don't know which it is, but it's some combination of all of that. And, what he's got to do ultimately, and it's the hardest thing in the world to do, is to just find the fun in playing baseball again.
Yeah, and that's probably what he needs to do. Let me ask you this. As far as the 4 teams that are in the bottom right now, you got the Twins, Red Sox, Astros, and let's throw in the Mets.
Well,
out of those 4,
the
is that
and
the
Rockies
surprising?
There.
But what's the most surprising though?
The Mets probably.
They're really bad.
Yeah,
right now.
The Red Sox. Look, I take a nasty enjoyment in that, just with the Yankees rivalry. Actually, I don't. I like when the Red Sox are good.
It's good for baseball.
And just below the Yankees.
Right.
I love that. But no, the Red Sox, I'm surprised at how big a dumpster fire it kind of is in the locker room. I'm not surprised they're not leading the division. The Mets, I thought, would be a lot better this year. I really did. The Twins, I wouldn't say it shocks me. The Astros, they'll be fine. Ultimately, they always kind of make a late run. The Rockies have settled into where they always are. So, as far as disappointments, Mets and the Phillies, even though I know the Phillies have played a little better lately, those are 2 teams I thought might come out of the gate stronger than.
Do you think Don Mattingly has something to do with this though? Because they're playing totally different since Don Mattingly took over for the Phillies. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, they're 19-22. They're second in the division, tied with the Marlins, 9 games back from the Braves. But I mean, when you look at it, they were in the bottom.
Oh, they were
horrible.
Bad. They were saying, "Thank God for the Mets." They look. Sometimes just a change is what's needed.
Yeah.
But also, Don Mattingly's done this a long time and with success.
Yeah.
So,
we had talked about it last year. You remember we had talked about Boone might not, stay,
you're
and
talking
Mattingly
You're talking my
going
dream.
and being with the Yankees.
Mattingly as the skipper of the Yankees is my dream.
Yeah,
I love him as a player. I love him as a manager, and him in pinstripes is the way it is. That's the way it should be. But I mean, whatever, it's fine. The Yankees are playing fine, and Mattingly's got a chance to do some good things with Philly, and maybe one day. But no, I love Don Mattingly. And I think he is underrated as a manager. I thought he laid a lot of the groundwork for those Dodgers teams.
Yeah. Do you think Craig Counsellman doing what he's done so far has really – because the Brewers are right under the Cubs in their division, but Counsellman has kind of been really good. And do you think that bringing on, because nobody until last year knew who Crow Armstrong was. I mean, nobody knew him. Pete Crow Armstrong, but still.
Yeah, I mean, there were people. He advanced quicker than I think a lot of people thought he would.
I thought he was going to fall off.
Again, the NL Central is weird. There were some moves there that I was really shocked by. Between Brewers and Cubs and manager moves, and it just seemed odd. And but it's kind of settled itself out pretty well. It's almost like everybody got the best of what they wanted, even though I thought it was going to be a train wreck. In the division. I really thought that division was going to eat itself alive, and it turns out they're all playing good baseball.
Do you think going to the other division where the Padres are kind of leading, but they're only a half game up above the Dodgers, and the Dodgers haven't been very good lately?
The Dodgers are fine.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Do you think the Dodgers just kind of because Jeff thinks that they're just going to coast through the regular season and then be like, okay, now it's time to play.
To be honest, they kind of did last year.
Yeah.
I mean, the Padres, for years we've thought they were right there because they were making moves. They still have a lot of talent on their roster. You can't really tell from one year to the other what their plan is. But the interesting thing about the Padres is, they've got, say, a third best record in baseball. They're a game up on the Dodgers, but their run differential is +2.
Yeah, that's the problem.
They're it's kind of like skins. So it doesn't matter if you're 10 strokes back, you're just one hole. And it's almost like that. It's like when they lose by 10. When they win by 1. But I don't see them making the long run. I still like I say it every year, I like the Diamondbacks. I like the core of their team.
Wow.
And I just think those are and they were starting to make a late run too last year. The Giants, obviously, with the manager turnover, and the Rockies is not as good a division as it was a year ago. I would say for me, the Dodgers will win that division by probably 5 or 6 games. And if I had to guess right now, I think the Diamondbacks are better positioned long term at the end of the year to be second in that division than the Padres. I just don't think the Padres have the depth.
See, I think the Padres are going to be able to do it. I think they're going to be able to.
I've just waited. I've waited so many years.
Everybody was been waiting.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of over them.
Yeah, I understand. That's that fatigue that you get. Let me ask you this though: when you look at the Rays, do you think they've got what it takes to stay above the Yankees? Do you think they're going to be able to because they just started off really good?
I mean, the Yankees,
they play good, but they're young.
The Yankees have kind of settled back into their Jekyll Hyde kind of thing. They'll sweep a series and get swept. So it's hard to say. I still don't. I know Schlittler's doing great, and when Cole comes back full and everything, I still don't love the rotation, but whatever, it's fine. The Rays, they might be so young they don't know they're not supposed to be doing this.
Exactly, and that's what I was thinking.
They're
now,
fun.
I'll tell you this, the Guardians, they picked off from, what they did last year. They're going to be really tough. They're going to be, to me, the one team that is going to be really tough. I think they started the season out really good, which they're only one game above, but still, I think they're good enough to stay.
They're a generally well-constructed team, and they've some good young talent, and then they have probably the most underrated player in baseball in Jose Ramirez and a couple of key veterans. The only thing with the Guardians, I don't love their rotation either.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to overachieve on the mound to be able to do things. Now their division's not playing great. Somebody's going to make a run out of that division. I just don't know who it's going to be. I mean, if you look at it right now, the Tigers have really struggled. The Royals just aren't there. You keep thinking they're close, but they're just not there.
They remind me of the Padres, really. You keep seeing all these people, and you think, okay, Bobby Witt's going to step it up. He's going to be MVP, blah, 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 and it's just not happening.
The Tigers are the best position to make a run in that division. Of course, Skubal being out for a couple of months doesn't help because they've relied on him a lot lately, but if he's able to come back, they've certainly got the pedigree and the talent and somewhat of the experience from a year ago to make the run. But I like the way the Guardians are constructed. That is a team that's going to stay in the mix probably all year.
Yeah.
They're never going to be 12, 15 games over 500, but they're going to be a good, solid team and in the playoff conversation all year.
When you look at the bottom division, which is the American League West, I mean, the worst – that's the worst league in the whole of all of baseball. You got the Athletics with 2 games over 500 and everybody else 3 games below 500 at least. Do you think the A's have what they're young? They've got Kurtz, they've got Wilson, they've got these younger guys that are playing. Do you think they're going to hold on to that, or do you think the Mariners are going to come back and it's just going to be a different thing? If I mean, all that's got to happen is Big Dumpers just got to start hitting, and then next thing you know, they're back in it.
The Mariners traditionally are a late season team.
True.
So Julio's always slow.
Yeah.
Dumpers certainly started slow this year, and they make late season runs. So they're going to be around at the end. The Rangers, I always love, and they always let me down.
Yeah.
So I don't know about them, but I still think they're good enough to make a run. Quite frankly, the Astros are probably finally past the point. Like, Jordan got off to a great start this year.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the Astros – I think we're using some flawed – memories on the Astros.
Yeah.
I think they're finally past the point where we expect them to come
and
around
Carrera
late.
is done, so he's hurt.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be but I do think the Rangers and the Mariners will make a run late. But the A's, they could stay in contention. The A's, it's so hard. I still think I know it seems like a small thing and they're professionals, but not having that kind of home base, I just think that's going to wear on you as the year goes.
Let me tell you this. The biggest story right now going for baseball, and it's out there. Now, I'm not sure how true it is, okay? But a lot of people, a lot of news organizations are sharing it. A lot of people are talking about it. Mike Trout to the Braves. They're talking about it. Listen, don't get me. I understand that the owner has, he's traded away Shohei, let Shohei walk. Is Trout going to stay with the Angels forever? Because they're saying it's not true. He's got 3 years left on his deal. But everything is pointing, and a lot of the insiders are saying that there's a chance that Mike Trout's coming to the Atlanta Braves. What do you think about that? How does that make you feel?
I'm more thinking about it from I don't know if I think the fit is great for the Braves. I mean, unless you're just talking about a guy that you need to go to, like in a weird way, you're thinking about just as cover.
Yeah.
You don't think? I still don't think about Trout yet as a cover.
Right.
So I don't know if I love the move just for that. I mean, I could see Mike Trout leaving the Angels. I don't think it's a case of where, I mean, what's he from, New Jersey?
I think so.
Yeah, he didn't grow up in Southern California. He's got to probably love keeping some of those billions of dollars he makes,
Of course.
so maybe he wants out of California. I could see him, and I could see the Angels going, look, you've been great for us.
Yeah.
We want you to have a shot at a ring.
And here's a
But
rebuild chance.
I don't think I think if he goes to the Braves, I think he's like cover. And like I said, I don't think he's at that point yet, especially the way he started this year. So if he were to move this year, I think he'd move somewhere to be an everyday guy. And I don't think he's an everyday guy with the Braves.
Yeah, I don't either. I think he could do some. And see, we already
It's
got
first I've heard
Dominique
of this,
Smith.
so it kinda caught me.
Yeah, Dominique Smith is the DH. Drake Baldwin DHs when Sean
Yeah.
Murphy's in.
No.
I mean, you've got Eli White in the outfield. You got Dubon in the outfield. You got Acuna hurt right now. You got Harrison center. I mean, your Skrimsky's there.
I can see him coming, to somebody at the deadline who's making a put. Let's say the Phillies go on a run. I mean, I'm not looking at individual teams and positions. So, some of these may not match up, but say a Phillies or let's say the Orioles get hot or something to come back east to get in with a team that's making a run at contention.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I still think it's probably early. I could see this happening more next year.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking. It's gaining a lot of momentum. It's gaining a lot of people that are in the ins and outs of what's kind of going on as far as the talking. And I figured you hadn't heard it yet because it was and that's why I'm glad I was able to ask you. You with a little shock.
You would think just for star power it makes sense to go to the Yankees. I'm 100% convinced the Yankees are going to make a play at Skeens. I still think it's going to be this year, but worst case by next year.
And if you think with Skeens, Fried, and Cole, that's 3. That would be, I mean, oh gosh.
Yeah.
What in the world? Either way, we're going to go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, we'll discuss a little bit more. I've got some questions about something that's interesting that's going on. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Braves country.
This is unbelievable.
Tonight, the 2 best teams in the National League face off at Truist Park. The 28-13 Atlanta Braves host the 27-14 Chicago Cubs. Coverage coming up at 6. First pitch at 6:15 on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Your safety and proper care of your boat in an emergency is crucial. When it comes to on-water assistance, response time is everything. And since 1996, in the Bay or on the Gulf, it's SeaTow. SeaTow's Coast Guard licensed captains are on the scene in an average of 1 hour or less. SeaTow gets members home or back to boating faster. Become a member today at SeaTow.com or call 850-234-2323.
You've been low-key thinking about dropping a podcast. Well, now is the time to start, brah. Sports, politics, finance, science, health, real estate, music, interviews, surfing, conspiracy theories, or alien abductions. Ready to main character your own content? We can make it happen with Turnkey Podcast Productions from 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Our local, modern, state-of-the-art multimedia recording studio is now available for booking, starting at just $100 an episode. Take your fandom to the next level. For more information, text the keyword studio to 850-215-6290. Text studio to 850-215-6290. Text studio 215-6290 or jam over to ESPNPC.com. Bruh.
The The Atlanta Braves are on a mission, and night after night they're making their case as one of the best teams in baseball.
3-2 to Drake. He swings and hits a missile to deep right field to the chop house and out of here.
Tonight, the Braves welcome the Chicago Cubs to Truist Park for a big National League showdown as Atlanta opens up a 3-game set at home.
Coverage coming up at 6. First pitch at 6:15 on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The phone lines are open, the opinions are flowing, and the arguments are just getting started.
You cannot give LSU extra opportunities. With just one loss, they can sneak in there. They're playing championship football.
The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson is back, and we're putting you in the game.
He has not turned the ball over.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves tonight host the Cubbies at Truist Park. Coverage starts at 6 o'clock. First pitch is at 6:15. Also, don't forget, if you want to be a part of this show, you can be. 850-215-6290 is the way you do that. And don't forget, today is the day, 5:15. $25 gift card to Ferrucci's Restaurante, where anniversaries are celebrated and love stories begin. We're going to go ahead and go to the phone line. We got Nate on the line. Nate, how are you today, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We are doing great. We're dry. That's the big point.
Well, yeah, yesterday was a lot wetter than it was today, but at least for me.
Yeah, I was going to say, because today it was a gully washer here in town, so it was pretty rat.
Well, I promised to keep everything above board today because I was a little bit crude yesterday. I'm sorry about
That's
that.
okay.
So,
That's all right. The FCC only sent an email. They didn't call.
They didn't call? Okay. Well, I just want to make sure that this is your show, not mine, so I want to behave myself.
Appreciate that.
So you guys are talking baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. I didn't hear anybody be talking about the Mariners in a bad way, but you can talk about them a little better than that. I mean, come on. They've got one of the best pitching staffs in baseball.
Yeah.
All right. We all know that they're better after the break.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said.
True.
And that's because they can open the roof up. They don't have to worry about the rain so much and get that heat going in there, and things just start moving better. Now, the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that in baseball, you face a number of pitchers a number of different times.
Right.
Okay? So if you're facing them for the first time, second time, you may be getting struck out a little bit more than if the third or fourth time you're facing them, or even fifth or sixth time you face them, depending on, if they're in your division or out of your division.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that enough pitchers rotate around that it keeps it interesting, but you're going to see these pitchers more than once a year. And I know that the Mariners have always started slow, and I think that's more climate or just the way Mariners are. But if they're in a position to be number one or make a run to be number one, they will go out and spend that money and get that help that they need.
Yeah.
They will. Because they got deep pockets. Trust me, Nintendo money spends just as good as anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and they did it at the break last year with Suarez, and they've made moves like that. The beauty, and what I said is they just don't start very well, so I guess it's frustrating for those of us who, look at the Mariners and think, this should be one of the, top 2 or 3, 4 teams in baseball. Right. But really, it kind of reminds me of like a horse race, like the Derby. If the pack goes out slow, you can just sit in the middle and coast, knowing you've got the best kick at the end of the race, and that's kind of the beauty of the AL West right now. I mean, the Astros are kind of done. The Rockies are kind of what they are, or not the Angels, excuse me.
Angels.
The Rangers haven't done anything, and the A's are slightly better than average, so they can just kind of kick in and, like you said, just wait till after the break and make a run like that. But I like the Mariners. I think they're one of the better teams in baseball. I guess I'm a little surprised. It just seems like every year they're just kind of and then we'll make a little kick late. So.
Well, hold on a second, Nate. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
all right, just give me a second here. I'm going to push this white horse into this mud hole because you know what? He's batting 157. He's got 7 home runs, 18 RBIs, and 24 hits. So I get it. Oh, he's only faced this guy once, twice, 3 times, or whatever. You're the best catcher in baseball, or supposed to be. So realistically, let's just call it what it is. The big dumper is taking a big dump, and we're not very happy about it with being Mariner fans. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just going to throw it out there a little bit. He's struggling, and it's okay because they're only second. And so they'll probably win their division. They'll probably go hot. I get it. But the dumper's not dumping too good right now.
Well, I'm trying to keep it above board here. But, the fact is that the big dumper has also been playing a little bit hurt. And a lot of people don't talk about that.
Okay.
So he's got injuries he's dealing with.
Understood.
Actually, they had him sit the other night and brought in their backup catcher, who's pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Julio, a former Rookie of the Year,
yep,
he's actually playing a lot harder. He's playing a lot better this time of year than he has ever.
That's true because he's notoriously late.
Yeah,
with
right.
things. So,
and
you're right. He is better right now than he has
been. I think
been.
he's matured a lot. He's got the example of the dumper. He's got the tridents up. The fans are really starting to show up. They're not fair weather fans like when you get out there at Devil Ray Stadium or whatever.
Shots fired.
Well, I'm just saying that they don't play in the rain.
Yeah.
We got money for that, so we just cover the roof. So
I don't think life could go with a back-to-back football then a baseball championship. So I don't know. I don't know if we can handle it.
Nate, I think I'm just surprised because this team, it's kind of come of age now. It's not like this team is averaging 24, 25 years old. This is more a 28, 29, 30, 31 core group, and that's why I thought they'd be kind of gotten through a little bit of what we saw the last couple of years, maybe.
Well, you gotta understand the history of Washington sports. Okay, they have a terminology in Washington State. Don't coog it. All right, that's it, and it goes across all the sports. It doesn't matter if you play college ball or professional ball. If you coog it, that means you were at the top of the heap and you just lost.
Yeah.
Okay. Mariners did it last year. They couged it like we knew they were going to. We were all bought in. We were all like, "Yeah, we're going to beat the Blue Jays. We're going to the World Series." Yeah.
Yep.
I got so deflated after that Jaybird game, and I knew that they were going to lose.
Yeah.
There was no way they were going to beat for the World Series at all.
Yeah.
Now, if the Mariners would have made it, they would have at least made it competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. I know we're going to switch sports real quick.
Sure.
We got the schedule of the NFL coming out on Thursday, so we should have that. Who are you looking forward to? Me and Jeffrey talked about this yesterday a little bit for the Seahawks. So he's wanting the Bears. He's thinking that Seattle should open with the Bears.
Absolutely.
Who do you want? Who do you want?
No, the Bears. I want the Bears on Wednesday night at 5:20 Pacific Standard Time. That's 8:20 Eastern, and they're going to basically show the Bears what they need to become.
Wow.
Now it's going to be Roma Doomsday's. He's coming home for the first time.
Yeah.
And he could go off. I doubt it, but Caleb Williams, he is the bigger, better, faster version of Russell Wilson.
Uh-oh. You think so?
Honestly.
You think so?
He reminds me of Russell Wilson in his early days.
Yeah, but he throws the long ball better. He does throw the deep ball better than
Russell.
Russell.
I don't know. Russell Wilson has some pretty good deep balls, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I feel like Caleb, because I know Russell's athletic, I think Caleb's got the better deep ball, though. I do.
Well, when you get Brian there and he's going to try to go up against this Mike McDonald defense, I think he's in for a rude awakening, thinking that, well, yeah, we can play him just like the Packers. Packers have got nothing against. Trust me, Packers are a good team. Okay, they're a great team, but they're not the Seahawks.
If you had another team, if you had another team to play, though, who would you go after? Who would you want to play in that first game besides them?
There's only 3 other teams that you can really put in that. And if it's not the Cardinals, which would be a divisional rivalry,
right?
All right, and you've got the number 1 running back pick against the number 2 running back pick. That would be the caveat there. this running back versus that running back. If it was on our schedule that we could make it happen, I would love to see KC come to town and have Kenneth Walker, the third, play against the Seahawks.
Well, and see, that was what I thought. I thought that would have been the one that everybody would have been tuned into, but obviously that's not going to happen due to what they released today. So, and we'll talk about that at the top of the hour. But
then you got the Chargers because they're on an away schedule to us.
Yep.
This year, and then the other one was not San Francisco. There was one more on the list. I can't remember them. That were potentials. There were the Bears, the Arizona Cardinals, the Chargers, and
the Chiefs. Or no, was it the Giants? Was the Giants on there?
Yeah, I think it was no, because the Giants are playing at home on their opener against
Dallas.
Oh God, Dallas.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's against Dallas.
It's in Dallas. Dallas is hosting the Giants.
The Giants. Yeah, that's what it is.
And I hate to say it, but Dallas is going to murder them.
Wow. Already?
Yeah, they're going to murder him. Harbaugh in his first year with the Giants, I don't see him going on the road and beating the Dallas at home, not with what Jerry was able to pull off this year. He made up for last year. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
those guys are going to be ready to play. But I'll let you guys go. Again, keeping it above the board, Paul. I love you guys.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. He's got a good point, though, as far as talking about Seattle. They're going to
It's hard for me because I don't know who's up for the thing. So, I'm just dream matching it. I'd love to see Denver go out there, but that's not going to be on the offering. So
yeah. Well, the thing is that when you look at the Kansas City and Denver are opening – that's their first two games, and then you got because I wanted to see. That's what I wanted to see
because that's what I thought the Super Bowl was probably going to be, short of no Nick's injury. So I'd like to see it, but whatever. It's what it is.
But I mean, I like how I like how the NFL is set up right now because it does have that little bit of I don't really know.
Yeah,
I could see Seattle still playing against a Cardinal team that could come out there and actually do something with some of the weapons that they have now.
There's some really unique stories coming in this season. Like the NFC East could be the best conference in football or the worst, and I don't know which.
Right.
I mean, really, all four of those teams I think could have good years, and all four of them could be bad. I tend to be with Nate. I do think Dallas made some good moves.
Yeah.
But Philly's not done. The Commanders will be coming back.
A lot of people are saying Philadelphia's done.
I don't think they are.
People are saying Philadelphia's there.
And the Giants have a ton of talent.
I know.
And a better coach. I don't know, man. Like I said, they could literally be the best or the worst conference, and it could be either one.
But what are they going to do? Are they going to SEC each other? They're just going to eat each other up?
Don't know.
And split the whole year? That's probably what's going to happen. They're going to split the whole year, and then it's going to be on the outside of their conference schedule. But either way, when we come back, we are going to dive into some football, and you don't want to miss it. For your chance to win $25 at Ferrucci's at 5:15. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Wake up with ESPN Northwest Florida. The Coach James Hale Show drags you out of bed weekdays 7 to 9.
They're going to allow beer sold at the new sports complex, yet we can't have a cold beer on the beach.
Yeah. Then for the ride home, the fastest 2 hours on radio. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson.
You better hope you're ready.
Morning drive and the afternoon commute are live and local on the Gulf Coast. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Anna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. A chance of thunderstorms and mostly clouds the rest of the day with temps near 76 and a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. A variety of very light rain and mostly clouds tonight, a gentle breeze, and a temperature of 67. About the same tomorrow, around 80 with some sun. Sunny Thursday and quite warm around 82. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
This May, we honor the courage, sacrifice, and service of America's heroes. At Coin and Bullion Reserve's Fine Jewelry, we're proud to celebrate Military Appreciation Month with an additional 15% off any fine jewelry purchase for all active duty and veteran service men and women. Whether it's a service-inspired piece, a timeless gift, or something special to mark a milestone, thank you for protecting the freedoms we hold dear. Coin and Bullion Reserve's fine jewelry, proudly saluting those who serve.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
Call the Happy Face truck today.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves are on a mission, and night after night they're making their case as one of the best teams in baseball.
3-2 to Drake. He swings and hits a missile to deep right field to the chop house and out of here.
Tonight, the Braves welcome the Chicago Cubs to Truist Park for a big National League showdown as Atlanta opens up a 3-game set at home.
Coverage coming up at 6. First pitch at 6:15 on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Panama City, Lynn Haven, Callaway, 30A, Santa Rosa, Freeport, Mexico Beach, Port St. Joe, Youngstown, Blattstown, and Yorktown. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson.
The locals love it.
Dominating the dial at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. The hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. Cause Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the topic. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even try, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share right now.
We made it to 5 o'clock on this rainy Tuesday. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves host the Cubbies tonight. 6 o'clock coverage, 6:15 is the first pitch. And don't forget your chance at 5:15 to win a $25 Ferrucci's gift card right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Also, don't forget, if you want to be a part of this show, you can be. 850-215-6290 is the way to do that. You can text in or call in as well, and we will read it right now. And I'm excited about it. And we got to talk about something. There's something going on in the Major League Baseball. And look, I get it. There's not a lot of baseball fans across this station necessarily, but there are people that listen, that love it, and then there's people that are interested in it. And I want to talk about something that's going on this year that we've never had before, and that is the ABS. Now, I'm reading you this. Umpires missed 1,061 calls the week of May 4th through May the 10th. And they had 191 of those missed calls overturned. These were the 10 worst pitches that were called strikes in this period for the whole baseball season thus far. Brian, I tell you, I umpire. It's tough. I remember in Fort Walton, we had a tournament over there. We were on the smaller mound, not the 60-foot 6 inches, but the smaller one, right, for the kids.
Yeah, it was 48 and a half.
46 point. I think it's 46 and 6.
Yeah.
This kid from Kentucky, he was 6'2", 6'3".
Oh yeah, he could shave at 4:30 now. 5 o'clock shadow on
240 pounds.
Oh yeah, I know.
He was throwing absolute gas. And I'll tell you, he was hurting the little catcher's hand. Every time he'd throw one in there and he'd catch him on the thumb, wow. You could hear the kid going, ah. He was grunting. And I was grunting when he was grunting because I was worried that he was going to miss it and it was going to hit me. But I'm just saying, if you get in the right spot, even if you've got a little bit of a delay, at that close of a range. Yeah, they're not throwing the breaking balls that are falling off the table 12 to 15 inches, but they are throwing the fastballs, the 2-seam, the 4-seam that moves a little bit. They are throwing the changeup. They are throwing the curveball. It's got a little dance to it. Sometimes they're left-handed, sometimes right-handed, whatever. But I would think that I might miss 2 or 3 calls a game, something like that. But these guys are missing 10 to 20 to 30 calls in a game. These guys are making on the upper $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, and they're awful. And I'm saying it, they're awful. I love it. I love the fact that they're doing this, not because I want the human element to be taken out of baseball, but they have gotten so good at framing. These catchers are magicians behind the plate.
Game.
It's but that's a skill that they've learned. It's just like when we were talking about fouls and looking like you're getting murdered out on the court, but really you're just faking it, flopping, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, he's flopping, and they're looking at it now and blah, blah, blah. But it's a skill. It's a skill that you learn. I mean, just the other day, a catcher got traded, and they showed all of the balls that were balls that he got turned into strikes because of how good he could frame the baseball. But they're manipulating the umpires, and the umpires are getting it so wrong. I just can't believe it.
See, that's why I don't come in on Tuesday. Because you knew my face would turn the color of my shirt when you ask about this ABS. Now, look, I understand the notion of wanting to do it better, but I don't like taking the human element out of it. And to me, with the way that they're doing this, especially, like with football and everything, replay was designed to catch egregious mistakes.
Right.
Now it's its own official, basically. It just is.
But they're missing it by 3 and 4 inches. It's
okay.
3 and 4 inches.
Now, hang on now, because, yes, there are some really bad ones. But the statistical analysis of what you're throwing out there catches every miss.
Right.
That catches half-inch misses.
Right. Tenths.
And to me,
yeah.
The problem with this is if you want to do a full-on robo strike zone, then do it. And don't have a human back there at all.
Oh,
I don't love that.
I don't either.
But to me, having the marriage of the two is worse.
You think so?
I do. Now, maybe you can say, well, the hope is that what this will do is breed us a new crop of better umpires.
Right.
It might.
Yeah.
I am slightly open-minded enough in my old age to at least see.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me overall, do I love it? No, I don't. I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever seen in a game. But I don't love it because I hate that combination, because I do think that there is nuance and there is gamesmanship and there are things that have been built over 160 years that are critical to the game of baseball. I don't want a robo-strike zone. I don't want Cyclops from tennis calling balls and strikes and little beeps and this. I just don't want any of that. And I understand the caveat of that may be there's going to be a couple of Angel Hernandez's, from time to time.
There's going to be.
But I don't know. I'm willing to let this play out maybe another year and see. Because if I do think the standard starts to improve for umpires, then maybe it is a positive.
Yeah.
That I think maybe was a weird road to take to get to a good result. I don't know. I don't think the calls are as egregious as they're looking statistically, because like I said, he botched that call. That thing was a half-inch out of the zone.
Right.
That's not a botch call.
Yeah.
A botch call is if the ball's in the dirt and he calls it a strike. That's a botch call.
And I love how people that are down the right side, down the left side, people that are up in the balconies or whatever, but it has, I will say this, it has added especially for the team that gets it right, and if it's a home crowd, it has added another excitement part to the game. I love it. I love it. It adds more something, because this is the thing.
You're going to get me into yelling at you. That's catering to barking seals,
man. I love it. I want the fans to stay engaged, because when you ask people about the game of baseball, what do they normally say? It's a boring game. It's slow. It takes forever. That's why they loved it.
It's meant to be enjoyed at the park.
I understand.
It is not about here. here, let's throw you this circus act, to keep you clapping. Hey, I'm a barking seal.
Yeah.
I don't love that part of it. But here's the thing that I will say that I will compliment Major League Baseball on with this. They have implemented it well.
Yeah.
It has not dragged the game. It has not slowed things down significantly, which was my worry coming in. So as they do bring in a lot of those things, whether it's VAR in soccer, whether it's instant replay in football, a lot of the complaints and things. Go back to the Auburn-Georgia game. How long did that drag on? And then they kept reviewing every sideline call, and Georgia had a drive that lasted 37 minutes, for God's sake.
Because of it,
The fact that Major League Baseball, who typically gets in their own way with new rules, has implemented a new thing, and it is not detracted from the pace of play of the game.
Yeah.
They do deserve to be commended for that. I may not love the overall part of it, but I'll give them a lot of credit for that because I don't think it's done that, and that was one of my biggest fears going in. I'm not with you on the it's another avenue to keep fans engaged kind of thing because I'm sorry, I'm too much of a purist for that. If I have to do little tricks and trinkets like that and jingle keys to keep you involved in the game,
I'm just
then you
saying,
shouldn't be at the game.
The people that sometimes don't necessarily, that's why Banana Ball has taken over and they sell out, and because they got all of this other stuff, that's a
The Harlem
trinket game.
Globetrotters sold out too, but they weren't the Celtics and they weren't the Lakers and they weren't the Sixers and they weren't the Bulls.
I know, but still, you got to look at it as they're
different.
trying to fill these seats. Go watch the Tampa Bay. They're winning, and they're hard to find full stadiums. The stadiums aren't
full. Because it's in Tampa.
I know, but I just want more people there, and I want them to experience this great game. Now, I will say that Scott Mills said that the ones that are challenging the calls are wrong a lot as well.
It's true.
So that is another part of it.
Put them in a penalty box.
Well, I mean, that's what I was going to ask you. What should they do? If you because everybody boos the umpire as soon as you make a bad call and it gets affirmed that you made a bad call. But if you're a batter or the catcher and you're like, oh, yeah, that's a strike, or oh, no, that was a ball, and it turns out that it was a strike or a ball and you're wrong, then maybe you should have to do 10 up-downs before the next inning starts.
Again, I want to see this play out a little bit before. What I would have normally said, let's say we're coming into the year where they're going to do this. Probably one of my first thoughts would have been limit challenges. Kind of like with the red flag in football, you have a certain amount of, whatever. Maybe there's a penalty on a timeout. Obviously the timeout doesn't play in baseball, but I was joking saying penalty box, but probably the easiest thing to do would be you only get a certain amount of challenges. And I would rather see this play out this year and let's see how it goes. And if we feel like it's been abused, if you feel like as we get toward the end of the season, let's play a hypothetical. Let's say the umpiring improves. And let's say the calls don't, or the taps don't go down, and we're seeing more and more that the call was actually correct the first time. Then maybe they see enough data points where they're like, okay, umpiring's improved. We're starting to get this slowed down for a lot of incorrect challenges. Now maybe we do need to put a cap on the challenges. So we need more data points before we know the way to go instead of just knee-jerk reacting to it.
What do you think about this? What if you think that after they see that this works and it starts, and to your point, let's say that it does start happening the right way and things start getting better and the calls are tighter, that they have a deal where it's set up around the plate that if it's 2 inches, if it touches the 2-inch mark of being off, that automatically there's a buzzer now, and it goes and it changes the call.
You are you are very trusting in technology.
I'm just saying, I don't ever want it to be robo. I don't want a robo ump. I don't want it. I don't ever want it that's how it's going to be from now on. I don't want that. I want there to be a human element. I think it adds, a little bit of angst against the umpires. I think they get, because I want to see what the data says about the umpires that have gotten the calls wrong and if they've thrown out more people when they've had more wrong calls because they're aggravated because they've been embarrassed on national TV or in front of the 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people, because that is a big deal. You know, it is a big deal that when you miss. And I don't know if you were here for the story that whenever I was umpiring against the number 1 team in the country, an 8U coach pitch, and the guy showed me.
And I was the one who said that nobody remembers any of that stuff.
Right.
And I would say, you know, and I would have told the guy if I were, by the way, the teenage kid who handled the coach for complaining about walkout music, if you've not read that story, that kid handled it beautifully.
Yeah.
So what you should have done is turned this and said, you know what that video and $4 will get you? A cup of coffee. That's what it's worth to you. But if you're sticking your chest out that you're some national champion 8U coach, you shouldn't be coaching.
All right. No,
I mean, that's
I'm with
not
you.
what it's about. So, but we hashed that one out a while ago.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I mean, the one good thing out of all this, we are going to get more information out of it. And again, then what do we do with it? What you said, I understand it's the natural next evolution to things to try and pare it down, but I just don't have that much of a trust in the technology. Things can move, things can shift. I mean, God knows we all have the wireless goes out at our house and we scream and yell at the sky. And we don't. It doesn't matter if we're going 120 on the interstate and the radar gets us. We're like, thing's wrong. What are you talking about? Doesn't matter. I'm going 50 over the speed limit. So trusting technology is tough for me, and maybe that's a sign of my age. I don't know. But, I don't know. The fact that I've even half defended this thing just makes me irritated at you.
But you're a true baseball fan.
I am a true baseball fan.
And there are people that are just starting to get into the game, and it does add a part of it that makes them happy.
So, all right, this is probably selfish. I've got a little bit of inner understanding here, but I want them to fall in love with the game that I fell in love with.
Right,
I don't want to change the game to, cater to their, 4.2 second attention span. And that might be generous, giving them that much. I want them to fall in love with the game that I fell in love with.
Yeah.
And as such, I want them to be around that game and teach them why I think this is the better way forward. I may not be right. I may not be wrong. I don't want to wholesale change the game just to say, oh, look, you got to see the bananas.
Right.
Whatever. That's fine.
Well, Well, I don't want to forget that Ferrucci's Feast here in minutes before you know it, somebody's going to be getting a $25 gift card. Don't forget at the next break. What do you think about somebody mentioned, would Greg Maddux have been such a great pitcher nowadays because they're saying that a lot of his pitches were balls?
No, here's why I would say 100% yes, he would. Because he was an absolute genius at mastering what was in front of him and available.
Yeah.
So he's not somebody who got by because he was able to bend the strike zone. He's someone who realized he could and utilized it. If he couldn't, he would have found another way. The guy was it's a running joke that he's an accountant and a computer. He was a computer. That guy remembered pitches from 7 years before.
Yeah.
So with Maddux particularly, I do think he would have, regardless of what the rules were, he would have found out the best way to bend that to his will. And so I don't think it would have affected him maybe the way it might have affected other players.
Yeah, my wife said, what if the camera angle is wrong? That could be another issue.
100%.
I mean, she's right. That's
we all know she's by far the smartest in your family.
Well, that is
that
true.
goes, and that's a low bar to clear. I'm sorry, Paul.
It's
no,
okay. It's understandable.
But no, she's right. There are 1,000 different little elements to that make it difficult. Look, everyone thinks solutions are answers. They're not. They're just more palatable sets of problems.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, maybe we're inching our way to slightly something better. But yeah, there's going to be problems with any kind of little fix like that and a reliance on technology skills.
I don't ever think we'll get it correct all the way around to make everybody happy. There's always going to be some way.
You couldn't get 10 people in a room to agree on what a strike zone actually is.
That's true. I've been there before, and they've said, okay, umper, you going to call line to line?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's not a strike.
Well, but because in the rule book, it'll say, what is it, numbers to need, whatever it does like that. Well, that's different for every player.
Right. 6'8" Aaron Judge is different.
So in reality, you are actually codifying a difference between players, which is what you don't want to do. You want it objective. So it's nigh on impossible.
Yeah, and every major sport that's in America, baseball, basketball, football, let's just go with those three, there's some type of, correction for a bad call or a correction. I love the fact that it's all about getting it right. I don't love the fact that an umpire, a referee, or whatever can dictate the outcome of a game. And if these things help from that happening, to me, that's the best. Because you know as well as I do, you got bases loaded and you get 2 strikeouts, and two of those strikes were balls, could totally change the game. And same thing with missing or tapping or whatever.
I think all of these things are best implemented when they are to remove egregious mistakes and not to become their own official.
Yeah,
and the
I agree.
problem is basketball, it's gone into time and this, that, or the other. VAR soccer, it's gone into looking for fouls. Football, they're going into finding penalties that weren't why the replay was called like that. All three of them, they have become their own official. It doesn't matter what the intention was, it's where we're going. I just don't want baseball to do the same, and I'm afraid it's going to.
Well, we're going to leave it right there. When we come back, we got the captain in the house. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Who's hungry? Caller 10 wins a $25 gift card in the Ferrucci Feast. Call now. 850-215-6290. 850-215-6290. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Braves country.
This is unbelievable.
Tonight, the 2 best teams in the National League face off at Truist Park. The 28-13 Atlanta Braves host the 27-14 Chicago Cubs. Coverage coming up at 6. First pitch at 6:15 on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For tonight, partly cloudy and a low of 66 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the northeast. Some clouds tomorrow morning, a gentle breeze and warm near 76. Mostly sunny and 80 in the afternoon and evening. 82 and sunshine with a gentle breeze Thursday. Friday sunshine and a temperature about the same at 84. This is your Tuesday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Crawfish season is back, and the heat is on at Lone Star Boil House. Lone Star Boil House is where the locals go for delicious, mouth-watering Cajun crawfish, shrimp, buttery red royals, and everything crab. Plus, Lone Star Boil House is now serving liquor. Get crawfish 6 days a week, open to close. To-go crawfish also available at the front bar, and crush the follow on Facebook for frequent food and drink specials. Lone Star Boil House, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect, and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job, it's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting your family.
The Atlanta Braves are on a mission, and night after night they're making their case as one of the best teams in baseball.
3-2 to Drake. He swings and hits a missile to deep right field to the chop house and out of here.
Tonight, the Braves welcome the Chicago Cubs to Truist Park for a big National League showdown as Atlanta opens up a 3-game set at home.
Coverage coming up at 6. First pitch at 6:15 on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. ESPN, Northwest Florida.
This is the vehicle for your hobby.
Yes, you are trying to get a big hit.
Coins, cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them. And now, the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd.
You could really get something cool in this.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves tonight host the Cubs. at Truist Park. Coverage starts at 6 o'clock right after the show. First pitch is at 6:15. Don't forget the Cubs are brought to you by Hewitt Tire and Auto, Brock Pest Control, Bill Bird Kia, PCB Hobbies, Cito, and Blue Diamond Truck Accessories. And yours truly right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Got Brian in the building, and we are joined with the captain and the doctor. The doctor and the captain are here. I usually should say the doctor plus the captain because, we know who steers the ship.
Or Tennille.
Yeah.
I'll go by either.
How are you guys doing?
Happy Monday, everybody.
No, it's Tuesday.
They got me.
I knew it was coming. I was ready. I had the hand pointed all ready to go.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. We're doing good. It's been busy. Really been slammed, honestly. I got a problem. I got to tell everybody out there in radio land, I got a problem. And my problem is this.
You missed me on Monday.
I like to buy things.
Yeah.
Too many things. I am out of room. I'm out of everything. I am just, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm going to take a nap right now.
Don't do it.
You guys can hear me snore on the radio.
Paul's going great.
Don't do it.
No, I'm just kidding. Everything's going really good. We had Super Saturday last Saturday, so that was cool. It was really busy at the shop. A lot of great stuff going on. Been busy at the warehouse, been busy streaming, things like that. We went to something very exciting. We went to a 24-hour coin stream schedule.
Oh, man.
So we literally stream 24/7 now, and we started last Sunday and have not stopped streaming since, and won't. This is it. This is what we do every day, all day long, 24 hours a day.
Wow.
Is stream coins on PCB Hobby on eBay Live. So it's an amazing feat. First people who have ever done that in the world.
Wow.
In the world. We are the very first. So this is it.
But wait, we were also the first when we were on Whatnot. We went to Stonehenge.
Right.
We did a show from Stonehenge.
Yeah.
We also did it from the Eiffel Tower.
The Eiffel Tower.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then with
the real Eiffel Tower?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then with Kate, we ended up doing the first Whatnot stream
In a car.
while we were in
I was
a
going
car
to
traveling.
I remember her screaming from the back seat of the car.
Yes.
Wow.
So we've had many firsts. This is the first.
Wow.
So this is amazing. We're running currently right this second running a second show, a bullion show, and we've also been running secondary Silver Age and Bronze Age comic shows throughout the week. And that's been for a couple months now. Bill and I had headed that up mostly, but now we have some guys who are starting to stream. Logan is one of our streamers, and he has been starting to take over the Silver and Bronze Age shows for comics. So it's been really cool. So we have sometimes 2 and 3 streams of each category going on at one time, and now we've introduced this 24-hour streaming.
And some of our streamers are learning cross-streaming.
Cross-streaming, right.
And so it's beautiful.
So
They
we
go,
have
we
coin
want to learn
streamers.
about comics.
We are coin streamers who are learning comics now, and we have TCG streamers
awesome.
who are learning sports and stuff like that. So
See.
we're starting to really cross-promote.
See, I thought the Ghostbusters said don't cross the streams.
That's right.
Well, we did.
That's awesome.
We crossed those streams. So anyway, so that's been going really good, and we've been having a great time with it. Shipping department is finally bulked up, and so we're excited about that. We've been getting all the packages out, and we've been just going nuts. So anyways, everything's going good. Buying collections we got coming up. So we were in Cleveland at Collecticon this last week, and we were also at the Beau Rivage in Biloxi at a...
that's right.
I actually came back with more money than I went with. And not because of gambling, because I gave that away, but for the show.
For the show, yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
That's hard to believe at the Beau
They
Rivage.
sold a pretty decent amount at the Cleveland show, too. It was pretty good. We were going to go to Phoenix this week, but we decided to opt out of Phoenix, and next weekend we are going to be in Orlando. It's kind of our secondary hometown. So we're really excited about that. Everyone's going down to the townhouse. We're going to have full crew. We're going to promote the shop down there, do all that kind of stuff, and we'll be at the Collecticon down there spending all kinds of money buying up everybody's stuff. So that's going to be really exciting. So that's next weekend we'll be at the Collecticon. So if you haven't checked out our TCG shows, man, we have fire.
It seems like that when you have a place in the place that you're going to, that would seem like it would really be something that you could say, hey, we're right down the street.
It's like our hometown show.
We're right down the street. We're right
it's
down the street.
It's like a hometown show. It's basically that's what happened at MegaCon, and that's what's happening That's what's happening with this Collecticon.
Yeah.
And we might even get to host one of their trade nights, Collecticon's trade nights, which would be really cool if we do. And we're also going to include the new employees down there to go to have dinner together with the TCG team, so they get to meet them and understand that there's bigger. The company's bigger than just them down there by themselves,
right?
Type thing. So that's going to be really cool. And they want to go to the show. So Erickson and Alexa are going to get to go to the show on Sunday and visit with our TCG guys and sit at the table and kind of see how we do things on that front too. So it's really exciting. Drew's doing really good down there, and we have a lot going on with that.
I hate to go back, but I got to, because it's just like you know how you get something in your mind and you're just like, gosh, I'm trying to put it in my mind. I'm trying to, and my mind's complex. I mean, we all know.
He went to Mary G.
So, but who's staying up this late to buy gold and silver in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Don't
You'd be
forget.
shocked.
It's probably more
Time
at 3 a.m.
zones.
than 3 p.m.
You'd be shocked. So there's
Different
a
time
couple
zones.
weird things going on here. First of all, if you ever had a grandma or you ever had a grandpa,
Yeah.
there's grandma and grandpa's actually on the eBay
That's
platform.
true.
There is. And if anybody knows, they understand that people wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning. So, and sometimes even before work. They get up early, they get their morning coffee, they want to do something. It's like reading the paper, except you don't read the paper anymore. It's like reading the paper, you get on eBay Live and you check it out. So if you're on East Coast and we're streaming at 4 a.m. in the morning, you just caught that 5 a.m. person getting up.
Yep.
Likewise, you're now streaming at 4 a.m. and you're catching the people at 2 o'clock at night
Or the night owls.
The night owls who go to bed, or have night shift or at work or whatever. So yeah, there's always people on.
Gotcha.
There's always people on. It's amazing to actually see that and see, the numbers in that. And so
And you
it's
look
been
at
a lot
Mountain
of fun.
Time.
Mountain Time, right? I mean, we
And
catch
then
Hawaii,
overseas,
too.
right? I mean, you got
and there's
people-
even international. There's some international going on there too. So it's kind of interesting how it does play out and work out. So I don't know if we're going to go to 24-hour streams in any of the other categories, but coins definitely made sense.
Maybe
But
comics.
I heard Brian said he would volunteer to do the sports cards ones from like midnight till 6 in the morning.
Really, he said
heard that. Yeah.
You heard
Yeah.
that. Are you hard of hearing? I'm
I
just
believe
asking.
that.
I got these on.
I gotcha.
I thought that's what he said.
Because I'm pretty sure he didn't. Anyways, so it's kind of interesting. And again, doing the two streams at once on the same category, that's a lot
That's
of fun
cool.
too, and that's kind of neat. Again, it's kind of because it's different. You have different people. You have the people who would like Silver and Bronze Age and Golden Age comic books. They like the older books. I mean,
Right.
they're not interested in the brand new book that just came out.
Yeah, new
Yet
comic book Wednesday.
Yet the modern stream kills it because everybody does want the newer books are on there getting their newer books, new slabs, getting stuff CGC'd, doing all that stuff. So that's kind of an example of how two streams at one time work as well.
Yeah.
And so, and not just a 24-hour stream.
Right.
So it's been pretty good. So we've been busy doing that. We got a lot of exciting news coming up. It's going to be in the works for months and months and months, but we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. And so we'll divulge as we know that type of stuff. But other than that, here we are. So Sajad. Okay, this weekend, I forgot. This weekend is our artist spotlight, and Sajad Shah, one of our artists, is coming into town Thursday. And so we are going to run hot Friday and Saturday, dropping Absolute Batman 19 and 20. It is the hottest comic book on the planet.
Wow.
Literally. Absolute Batman is the hottest comic book on the planet right now. Everybody knows the name.
And he's coming right over here.
And Sajad, who did our exclusive for number 19 and number 20, is going to be in the building.
Wow.
And going to be streaming with us. So that's going to be nuts.
It's been cool to see how popular he's gotten too, because at the cons, it's like there's so many people that come up that when's Sajad's going to be at the booth, and they're just so excited to see him. So from when we actually took him on to now, it's just he's
his popularity is
skyrocketed.
really growing. He does Marvel books, DC books now. He can do all of them. So he's been vetted and onboarded.
busy.
That's really cool.
He's been vetted and onboarded to all publishers. So it's been really good.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
So, Brian, what do we got? I know we got cards
Well,
coming out. There's
like
some
we
big
said
stuff.
earlier,
Exciting.
and I'm
Big
headed
stuff.
to Dallas Card Show this weekend, so it's not like we're not going to have a presence anywhere on the road. So we will be out there for that. But We talked about it last week. This is the big week.
Yep, here it
Todd
is.
and I, for years, have gotten excited because the release of Bowman is huge.
Yeah.
This is the prospects of tomorrow, and heck, now as quick as they pull them up, the prospects of today. But they've done a good job in that they incorporate more current stuff into it now. They're doing a lot of vet autos in Bowman, so it's not just the prospects. That was one thing that maybe weighed against it. If you weren't really into the guys you had to wait a few years for, now they're doing great with including all the other guys and everything like that. They've got some really cool cards in them. So Bowman Baseball Drop is tomorrow, and we have a ton of it. In shop, online, everywhere.
Tell us a little bit about some of that. Like, give us an idea of what you're talking about when you say they put stuff in there that's really cool.
So they'll do what they call case hits. These are really limited cards and things like that. So in the past, it might be what's called a crystallized, where it's kind of a neat little look. Looks like they're in front of like one of those old geodes from a class I slept through, Or,
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm way too young.
They've incorporated garbage pail kids into. They'll take players and give them their own garbage pail kid.
Nice.
Remember
those
like
are
that
really
Mike
hot.
Trout card you had that he had a trout?
I love that Mike Trout card.
Those are really hot and really exciting. They've incorporated more veteran autos into Bowman this year than they've done in the past. They always have rookies. And with some of the late call-ups with rookies this year, a lot of guys didn't get called up till right as the season started. They weren't in Series 1. They will be in Series 2 and in Bowman. So there is some of that. But, again, it's really about the prospects. And Ethan Holiday, probably the biggest name. He was, I think, the 3rd overall pick in last year's draft. Obviously, family lineage. He's going to be the biggest name chase, but there are a ton.
Was that Matt Holliday's son?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
His second son is
And
going to be
Jackson Holliday's brother.
Jackson,
So, and there's a lot of big internationals. There's 16 and 17-year-olds that just have incredible upsides.
Wow.
That are going to be in there. So Bowman is always fun. That's tomorrow. Thursday, Tops has covered everything this week, by the way. Thursday is NBA Hoops basketball.
Oh, wow.
Now, the fun thing about those of us who've been around a little bit, NBA Hoops premiered in 1989.
I remember.
Panini has been running it for years. What I didn't realize until I went to the Tops conference.
They bought it?
No, the NBA owns the NBA Hoops license. It travels with whoever has the rights.
Did not know that.
Did not know that till there.
So Tops technically produces
Tops
hoops
is
now.
producing NBA Hoops. It drops Thursday.
Oh, wow.
That is also in shop.
Are all these going to be affordable for people that on every level?
Yeah,
Not for you.
So NBA Hoops
I got a gift card.
NBA Hoops is in the entry level, I would say, so it's going to be very affordable.
It is. It always has been.
Bowman can be. The reason I say can be is because the hotter it gets, it gets very in demand.
Okay.
So Bowman may start so and may take off. It's going to be market factors.
Yeah.
And then not to be outdone, we still have football products coming out. Top's catching up to that. Top's Finest, which is a long-standing staple. Football hits Friday.
Oh, geez.
So we have a different sport every day this week, and they're all big releases.
That's amazing.
So
That's
it's a
good
big
stuff.
week for card releases.
Super excited.
Wow.
And I'm going to be buying a whole bunch of stuff, not just singles out in Dallas, but one of the reasons I'm driving like an idiot, well, that and the fact that American Airlines took forever to get me home last time, but the real reason I'm driving is I'm going out there specifically to buy some other wax, maybe from a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, to give us full coverage for the summer. Because that's always hard to keep up with,
Sealed
making
product.
sure everybody has the newest thing, but do you have everything? What we aim to do is make sure that anytime you come into our shop, come onto our stream, we have the things that you're looking for.
We have a buffet.
And so that's one of the things, hopefully, I will accomplish in Dallas. And if not, Todd won't let me come home.
Well, I'll just tell you this, Todd. Make sure that you keep tabs on him because Johnny Manziel is going to be there. And if Brian and Johnny Manziel go out and party
He can't
together,
run with me.
I don't know what's going to happen to Texas.
That is true.
He can't keep
That
up
is
with
true.
me.
I can't. Nobody can keep tabs on him. Let's be real.
Let's be honest about
Let's
it.
be honest about it.
So, with all that being said, how long does it take you to process this stuff when you do get back? So, I mean, is
Sealed product's easy. It's just basically we cost code it and then put market value up on the wall, and that's pretty much it. It's singles that sometimes take time.
Look, as long as I don't go out with Johnny Manziel, I'll be processing some of it at the show.
At the show,
Yeah, we're ready to go.
So literally, when we get home, I will put it out in the case, like within an hour.
Have you guys ever thought about letting Brian have
Probably
a
not.
setup at the card show where he's going to be there and going live with Brian's face.
Absolutely
and
not.
Him
Okay,
doing
first of all, you
deals.
said
You said my face.
You said his face.
That's a no.
That's a no. That's already a no. I already know Brian. That's
I let
an
him on my
absolute
show.
no.
We actually considered it once. In fact, I've helped Josh with his. Now, we never streamed from at that time when we were just doing sports card shows. We never streamed from the actual floor of the show. We would do it at the hotel later. We did that in New York.
Correct.
At the first Fanatics
Remember
Fest.
that? Yeah.
And I helped Josh. Usually I made fun of Josh in the background. That was my help. But no, we have done that. And obviously at the Collecticons, we're doing it live on the floor all the
Correct.
time. So it's not, I know it's hard to say. I'm going to give you a compliment. It's not a crazy idea. Probably not me, because we have people who are better at this than I am, and we would much rather use them.
I got
We
you.
would bring a Josh with us and have him do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've streamed plenty, but
we actually want to make sales.
I'm semi-retired.
Real.
Yeah, well, I understand. He's
fa-
the brains behind
no,
it.
and face cam would be awful.
I wouldn't go with the brains either. I don't know what I'd say about Brian.
Well, tell us the
I'm a body.
address and the hours of operation, and give us a little bit of an update about Orlando if everything's going good.
Yeah,
there.
everything's going good in Orlando. Orlando operations have been great. We're getting a lot more customers in. A ton of Google reviews.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
All
That's great.
5-star. We probably have, I don't know, it could be
70
upwards of
something.
70, 80 of them now. All 5-star reviews. So that's been going really well. We're at 8972 Turkey Lake Road, and that's in Orlando, Florida, 32819. And a phone number is the same phone number as our shop up here, 850-320-8388. And what you do is you press 1 for PCB retail location and 2 for Orlando. So if you need to reach Drew in Orlando, you would hit number 2. And then, of course, 3 is customer service. So so that's our phone number. And then, of course, we're at 11939 Panama City Beach Parkway in Panama City Beach. That's back on Back Beach, basically. 32407 is the zip code on that. So visit our stores. We're open Monday through Sunday in PCB. So we're open every day, but the only weird part is on Sundays we open at noon and we go to 6.
Okay.
And every other day of the week it's 10 to
10 to
6 technically, but we sometimes go later. It
10 to
just depends.
close.
10 to
There you
close.
go. That's good.
And then we're only open 6 days a week from 10 to 6 down in Orlando. However, we might expand that as we get more employees and kind of get an assistant manager in place and stuff like that. We'll probably start expanding that into 7 days a week. We don't want to kill Drew, so and he's the only manager right now, so.
Well, that's good.
But we've been buying stuff over the counter. He called me yesterday, can I write a check for X? And so that means they're buying.
Yeah.
So stuff's
which is
coming
good.
over the counter, getting a lot of Pokemon business down there, working on some coin sales and various things. And then we've been selling comic books too. So we're going to go, Sharon and I are actually going to go down to Orlando next weekend with the team, and we're going to process comic books while we're down there and
Wow.
get him loaded up with some more
Yeah,
stuff.
that sounds
So-
really good. So it sounds like all things pointing to summer is going to be full go.
Amazing.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's going to be insane.
Well, thank you guys so much. Y'all
Hey
get
guys,
some
I don't want
rest.
to cut you
Yeah.
off. We got a caller. MC's has a question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's go ahead. MC, how you doing today? What's your question for Todd and Brian and the doctor?
I'm doing well, sirs. I want to know how much my Joe Charbonneau Rookie of the Year card from the Cleveland Indians and Topps is worth.
That's really good. I don't know. It would probably depend on a lot of factors.
What year is it from?
I think 1980.
1980. Okay, and is
MC.
and it's from
I know who
what
you
team?
are. Mike.
Yes, I am.
It took me a second to get it.
You guys, Brian, you're evil. You're an evil man. But no, I did have a Joe Charbonneau card, actually.
Yeah, probably not much.
Thank you. That's terrible news to tell me.
That's all right. Well, you'll join about all of the
I
other
can't
people
believe,
our
Mike,
age.
you actually got past me for about 10 seconds. I can't believe you got past me there.
Yeah, well, hey, how about a Rafael Palmeiro?
They were
1987.
they
yeah,
were better before the steroid admission.
steroid thing. Yeah, that killed it.
Couple bucks.
I mean, listen, I love you guys.
Appreciate it.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And but I actually had, I'm one of these guys that we had all the good cards and we put them in the spokes of our bicycles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Well, that's the reason they're worth what they are now.
Exactly.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
we appreciate
Mike.
it, Mike. Yes, sir. Have a good day. When we come back, we will dive into a little bit more of NFL and college football. We got to get Brian's take on what's going on with Lane Kiffin and the Mississippi fans. Not Ole Miss, only Mississippi State, too. You listen to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Set your alarm clock to wake up with the Coach Hales Show on ESPN Northwest Florida.
We can go to a youth sporting event, drink, and you know how they can get when they don't get their way? Man, that can create a problem.
In-depth local and college sports from expert insiders and a dash of controversy.
The day and age we live in with parents going crazy getting in fights, I don't see alcohol making that any better.
Weekday mornings 7 to 9.
5 minutes can save your life.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Looking for the most romantic night out in Panama City? Ferrucci Ristorante is your destination for authentic Italian cuisine and unforgettable moments. The candlelight, the wine, the homemade pasta. It's like a little slice of Italy. From handcrafted sauces to centuries-old recipes, Ferrucci brings true Italian flavor to every plate. It's where love stories begin and anniversaries are celebrated. To reserve your table, call 850-913-9131. Ferrucci Ristorante, Panama City's most romantic escape.
This May, we honor the courage, sacrifice, and service of America's heroes. At Coin and Bullion Reserve's Fine Jewelry, we're proud to celebrate Military Appreciation Month with an additional 15% off any fine jewelry purchase for all active duty and veteran service men and women. Whether it's a service-inspired piece, a timeless gift, or something special to mark a milestone, thank you for protecting the freedoms we hold dear. Coin and Bullion Reserve's Fine Jewelry, proudly saluting those who serve.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida gets results. Here's Brandon Strickland from Recommended Collision Center, Jinx Avenue in Panama City.
At Recommended Collision Center, we're all about taking care of our community, and advertising on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has helped us do just that. Social media ads were getting stale, but the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson gave us a fresh way to reach local customers. We've seen more vehicles coming in for estimates, more phone calls, and more people recognizing our name. It's been a great partnership for our business, pairing up with 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
To see how 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida can help grow your business, go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button. Get your message heard and cut through the clutter. Go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button.
The Atlanta Braves are on a mission, and night after night they're making their case as one of the best teams in baseball.
3-2 to Drake. He swings and hits a missile to deep right field to the chop house and out of here.
Tonight, the Braves welcome the Chicago Cubs to Truist Park for a big National League showdown as Atlanta opens up a 3-game set at home.
Coverage coming up at 6. First pitch at 6:15 on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your favorite team is garbage.
Dallas? I don't want you going to Dallas at all.
And we're here to explain why.
That place is crawling with crackheads and debutantes, and half of them play for the Cowboys.
It's time to take out the trash on the Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves tonight, 6 o'clock, right after the show. 6:15 is the first pitch. If you want to be a part of this show, though, you can still be. You got about 10 minutes. 850-215-6290 is the way to do that. Brian, have you ever been wanting to go and have some fun inside on a turf field or a basketball court, maybe shooting some hoops, and you just didn't have a place to go, well, I've got a place for you to go. Do play in beautiful Panama City, 2817 Aberdeen Parkway. It is the place to go. They've got all kinds of stuff for the kids. They've got the slides. They got the balls. Guess what they got? They got drinks. Like the healthy kind, the good kind, the smoothies.
Oh, I've heard about those.
They've got.
Yeah, never had one.
Yeah, never had one.
Yeah.
You may ought to try one. They also have food there. I mean,
now we're talking.
Good food too.
Okay, there we go.
Not only just something you throw in the microwave and blah blah blah, but actual good food that they make right there on site.
Love it.
And not only that, man, they've got all kinds of stuff. If you have a kid that wants to have a great, fun birthday and you want to have some people that know what they're doing with birthday parties, you can take it there to DuPlay as well.
Love it.
It's such a great place. So check them out on DuPlayOnline.com, or you can go to their Facebook page. The other thing is what's happening in about 3 weeks. Summer vacation for the kids, and they need stuff to do. They need to get out of the tablet. They need to get out of the house. They need to go interact with other kids. Sign them up for one of their great camps that they're doing. They got a plethora of camps, whether it's agility, soccer, volleyball, basketball, crafts, arts, all this stuff. They got it all going on there. Go check out their Facebook page. Do play right here in beautiful Panama City.
Love it.
Now, Brian, when we started the show, I wanted to get to this point.
Yep.
This is one of the points that I wanted to get to. You said you had listened yesterday, and we had talked a little bit about how Lane Kiffin had come out on Vanity's Fair interview, and he talked about, you took it a little further, which is what I wanted to hear, because
well, we hadn't gone through all of it, but
you're a Mississippi State alumni.
Yes, I did graduate. Took a while, but I graduated.
Right. I mean, 7 years is 7 years.
With an underwater basket weaving degree.
7 years is 7 years. It don't matter.
Keesing's an idiot.
So, but either way, he made the statement that it was harder to recruit the black players than it is at LSU because of some of the undertow of racism. I want you to speak on that.
Okay.
Because for me, I think it's nothing more than shade. I believe it with all of my heart. I believe that he's doing this because he's still wanting to cause trouble during the offseason against Ole Miss.
All right, let me do something that's not the norm for Sports Talk Radio, and let me try and talk rationally about all of this. So a couple of things can be true at the same time. Mm-hmm. I actually firmly believe Lane Kiffin has had people tell him that when he's been recruiting them.
So you believe this is an actual story?
But here's why. No, I'm sure he's heard it because we heard it.
Right.
When I was going to state, you would hear it from recruits too. It's like, man, I thought when I came here it was going to be a bunch of bubbas with, rebel flags and shotguns, and there were only a few of those. No, I mean, but I mean, but you heard that,
right?
And Ole Miss, obviously back then they had Colonel Reb, they had all of these things. So yeah, what is portrayed in the media, what you see if you're not local to Mississippi, you would understand how that might be a fear. That being said, Ole Miss and Mississippi State have never had difficulty recruiting black players,
right,
from in-state and from out-of-state. So obviously, it's something that does come up. So I believe that because I know that and I've lived that. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, why was it brought forward? This is where you have to get into the psyche of Lane Kiffin. I do think Lane Kiffin's about the most honest coach there is. I think he will tell you what he's thinking.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have agendas.
Right. No, I get you.
But I think if you really have followed his career, he's one of the few people that will tell you like it is one way or the other.
Yeah.
So whether or not he simply referred to a memory and was like, wow, I don't hear this anymore over here, and it created a life of its own, or whether it was a directed shot, it could easily be either.
Right. And it could be both.
It probably was some level of a shot. It was probably calculated to some extent. I don't think it's to say Ole Miss is a racist place. I don't think by any stretch he was trying to do that. I think what he's trying to say is, guys, we have such a great community here at LSU, and it's not like some of the things that you heard at other places where I was come here.
Yeah.
Also, if I can get a little dig at you guys who chased me onto the plane and this, that, or the other, that's probably not it.
Too.
Now, there's another level to this, and that's where you start getting into the stuff that happened today. There is a issue with Pete Golding across the coaching circles.
Mm-hmm.
Probably less with Lane, but more with the others. But so there are people taking shots at Ole Miss left, right, and center because they very much want Pete Golding to suffer for a lot of what happened with the Clemson thing and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
The problem with that when it comes to these coaches is as they jump into the fray like Sarkisian did, like a moron today.
And let me read that so everybody understands. At Texas, we will only take 50% of the players' academic credit hours.
Mm-hmm.
But at Ole Miss, they can take you. All you have to do is take basket weaving, and you can get an Ole Miss degree.
Yeah, right, so
that's from Sarkisian
First of
today.
all, the notion that Texas is some bastion of academic standard is hilarious to me. It's another in-state school. It's fine. But it's not Harvard.
Right.
It's not MIT. It's not. And the only thing Steve Sarkisian has degrees in are from the Betty Ford Clinic.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. The guy's a clown. Pete Golding's been as far the playoffs as he has.
Yeah.
Win something.
Yeah.
Then you can come out like that. He was trying to make a joke. He failed at it like he's failed at a million other things. So I thought that was probably more reprehensible. Now, the Kiffin thing will have more legs because race is involved.
Right, of course.
Again, I really don't think it was brought up as a race thing. I do think, and like I said, I think two things can be true. I do think he took a shot.
Yes.
I think it's going to have its own life. But the thing that bothered me was the way people ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if you look at statistical demographics, this, that, or the other, there probably are more enrolled black students at LSU than there are at Ole Miss or at Mississippi State by number and by percentage. I can tell you, even going back 30 years, you don't struggle to find minorities on either of these campuses.
Right.
And they're very comfortable and very happy. And it's actually a really good community. Do you have random instances of issues? You have them all over the country.
Everywhere.
Sure. But I don't think it's ever dissuaded people. I think the things that do that are perceptions if you've never been around. If you see the Grove is typically people who have spent a lot of money on their setups. And socioeconomically, that's going to skew white. Mm-hmm. That's not a race issue. That is a socioeconomic issue.
Yeah.
So what are you seeing on the television?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when you see the old Rebels, the old Colonel Reb, the things like that, yeah, it's going to make you think that. But then again, you look at the football team, you're like, it's 90% black.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be a problem for these guys. They seem to be happy.
Yeah.
They seem to love being here. And you know what? They do. Because I've lived that.
Do you think that Pete Golding himself has become kind of the whipping boy with the way they've attacked him because of the things that he's done and the things that he said?
Yes, and I think he deserves it to an extent.
I do too.
So I'm not against that part of it. I think Sarkisian's jab was just poor.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just assumes
it
a lot
attacked
of
the whole university.
He's just an idiot.
I didn't love it.
He's just an idiot. Dabo's got more reason to go after him than anybody.
And he just went after the actual person. He didn't go after the whole university.
But that's it. You got to remember, as coaches, there is a fraternity and there are unwritten rules. And you don't cross lines.
That's right.
Pete's crossed the line on some of these things. So
well, Brian, thank you so much for changing your day and coming in on Tuesday. We sure do appreciate it. Tomorrow, we've got
something, Sark.
We've got an action-packed day lined up for you. Don't forget, in the morning, 8:15, Coach James Hale Show is going to be giving away that $25 gift card. Stick around for that. Thanks for listening today, guys. We will see you tomorrow. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves are on a mission, and night after night they're making their case as one of the best teams in baseball.
3-2 to Drake. He swings and hits a missile to deep right field to the chop house.